Peace and infinite blessings, loved one. I felt led to do a video upon me learning that Mandela had passed. I had no idea. The truth of the matter is, I sent condolences out to his family and to all of those who are mourning the loss or the illusion of loss of his passing. Oh, I thought that was a spot on my nose. It's a spot on the camera. And I will do my best to be as sensitive as I possibly can because I think my message might be a little tough for some to take. Or it may not seem as sensitive as some would need it to be. And basically my first thought is, if we appreciated the living more, we would mourn the dead less. And I've lost a fiance and a brother, so I understand mourning. I'm not against grief. I believe grief has its place, but I believe that this system is trained to be ass backwards in the sense that we appreciate more people when we no longer have them or have access to them. And what I mean by that is there are some people right now mourning the loss of Mandela and have loved ones and friends that they probably need to say some things to, reach out to, express some things to, forgive, honor, appreciate, and they're not. And this isn't a thing of judgment, so let me remove the word should. Let's just say there are relationships that we have right now with people who are living, who are here, parents, sisters, friends, lovers, strangers, neighbors, that we don't acknowledge and that we don't treasure and that we don't appreciate. And it boggles my mind that the system has us so programmed that as soon as someone passes, we then give them love. Whitney Houston would be a prime example of that. I wanted to hit so many people in the face because when that woman was here struggling in her body, struggling with addiction, struggling with entities of depression or fear or worthlessness and feeling unworthy, when she was struggling and sick, she was met with ridicule, judgment, insult, ridicule. I think I said ridicule. I can't remember. But all those words. And then as soon as she was no more, everybody loved her and she had the voice of an angel and she was such a sweet being. Could you imagine the difference and the impact that support while she was living would have had on those entities and those spirits that were possessing her while she was here? So again, I'm not passing judgment. I'm just saying, why does it take for us to lose something, be destructive of it, be take it for granted, have a lack of thanks and gratitude, and then when it's gone, now we want to honor it and worship and love it, and let's break that spell. Let's break that spell. What I would like to say about Mandela is this. He lived a life of greatness. He outgrew his physical shell. We don't honestly know. They released that he passed today. None of us knows when this man truly was out of the body. In my opinion, he's been out of the body. He's been sick for a long time. And he's been, if I'm correct, pretty much in a state of a coma for weeks, maybe about a month. I think it was a month ago when I last heard that. So how are we mourning a body and a vessel he needed to escape? And he outgrew it. He is on the next. If he was this impactful in a realm that does not honor the greatness and the type of ingenuity and integrity he had, imagine what he's doing, where he's going. Imagine the force and the power he will be, not limited by a physical vessel, to reach into now to love his children, which I think and like to think we all are. I said something, I wrote something, I said something like, I cannot mourn because you went from being a candle. Here, you were but a candle, and now you're a sun. Like, and I'm tearing up. I have tears, but it is no sorrow. He lived to be a ripe old age. Not the ages, but I mean, he lived. He used his body. He made a difference. He even whether people want to get into what he really did or didn't do, the fact that he moved on people's hearts and he gave them motivation to try to do something different means he did a great job. I can't call him back here. If he comes back in another form or as an ancestor or an ascended master or something and teacher, and he decides to reach into now, but he has left enough through his legacy, through the life that he lived, to not have to put anything else on this earth for me. That's just me. So I said he outgrew the ship. Ah, how lovely is that? May you fly even higher in other realms than you did here. May you be as light and as magnificent as your being always is. I could not mourn the light as being put out that has only become more bright. You were here but a candle, and now you are the sun. Do not let us draw you back to this place. Go forward and higher, and if and when you do reach down to us, we will be greater because of it. I honor you as ancestor, and even more so as the cosmic one returning into his cosmic self. You deserve it. You have done well. Bows, another you. Starfly, always awakening. And the other post I put was said, oh, what joy when the suffering escapes their torment. A legendary life, what sorrow is there in it? I understand the illusion of loss and the grief that accompanies, but when and the grief that accompanies it, but where has he gone that he hasn't already been? He has been apart from his body for weeks now, and sick even longer, yet we mourn his escape from the vessel that could no longer house his vastness. I do not mourn. He lives. He lives on in the pages of the hearts that have written him as a hero. He lives in a world not yet born to us, in the minds of babies not yet conceived. He lives in the past that is recalled as presence. That is omnipotence, and that is the eternal, yet again showing time its place. So my heart is not heavy but made lighter as God returns unto his unlimited being and blesses us exponentially from other realms of being. He lived and he lives. Tears that come from honor and respect for the greatness. I feel no sorrow. I only hope to be as impactful in my now and to live in integrity, that when I leave this realm, I will have left this world more loved and more whole because of how I lived. Not because of what I said, because of how I gave, not because of what I owned, because of how I served, not because of who served me. Let me be a servant in highest love. So that's my take on it. I send him and pray that he has happy transition and travels. I send love to his family, to all of the people that adore him. I just ask that you implement just a fraction of his spirit and his tenacity to bring evolution and change to the surface of now, to begin to implement a lifestyle that promotes the kind of living and the kind of loving you say you want to see here. And I only hope that from this moment, for those who are mourning, that you take that sorrow and use it to become joy and a celebration of a life well lived, well thought out, well planned, one that live in such a way to touch millions of lives. And you don't have to touch millions of lives physically to make the change. Touch your family, touch your mother, touch your brother, touch your cousins. Honor the people close to you when you've touched millions of lives, because every life you touch in your immediate now touches the life of another in their immediate now. So you can still have the same type of impact without being on the news as a Mandela did, if you would just be true to you and love and appreciate those who are here. Let's celebrate the living so that we don't have to mourn them when they're gone. Let's celebrate the living now. Let's celebrate life now. Let's honor life now. Let's honor the sacrifices made and the gifts given by people that we love right now. Say sorry to somebody you need to say sorry to. Don't let that BS keep you from speaking love and life into the people that you love and life them or like life. Anyway, I gotta go. I'm almost out of time. I love you so much. Keep your head up out there. Don't get caught in the illusions. Mourn, grieve, honor, but also rejoice and touch the ones around you who are living. Do not wait till people die to honor and respect them. That's just my 2 cents. And until soon.